Good morning and welcome to the Zoom service of UUCC, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Canandaigua. UUCC is a congregation that fosters personal and spiritual growth through religious exploration in search of the truth while celebrating diversity and affirming the worth and dignity of every person. We are glad that you're joining us. I'm Danielle Lyon, one of your worship coordinators. Our guest today is Petra Page-Mann, who has loved UUCC since her first decade of life and has a passion for growing seeds and community. A couple announcements today. Next Sunday, October 31st, we will plan to worship together outdoors at church, but also to live stream to YouTube for any who are unable to join us in person. We will plan on wearing masks and have some extras if you happen to forget yours. Childcare will be available during the service by vaccinated volunteers. Please check your email before leaving for church in case the weather decides we should meet on Zoom instead. Have you always wished you could get a custom Spanish quiz in audio of some English words or phrases? Dorothy Hoskins, dorothy.hoskins@gmail.com, is interested in connecting with those who would like a painless way to assist the migrant family unit of 2, which some of us have supported for more than a year. Dorothy wants to set up learn a little Spanish and support our friends methodology, but she needs to have a meeting with those of you who might be interested. Please reply via email or text to 585-750-3118, and we'll copy and paste those into the chat too. Now we will enter a space of worship.
We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
The Arabs used to say, when a stranger appears at your door, feed him for 3 days before asking who he is, where he's come from, where they're headed. That way, they'll have strength enough to answer. Or by then, you'll be such good friends, you don't care. Let's go back to that. Rice? Pine nuts? Here, take the red brocade pillow. My child will serve water to your horse. No, I was not busy when you came. I was not preparing to be busy. That's the armor everyone puts on to pretend they have purpose in the world. We refuse to be claimed. Our plates are waiting. We will snip fresh mint tea, fresh mint into your tea. And friends, let us sing together, opening hymn number 76, for flowers that bloom about our feet.
For flowers stream and blue of sky, for pleasant shade of branches high, for fragrant air and cooling breeze, for beauty of the blooming trees. Gifts we've received, we're grateful. For this new morning with its light, for rest and shelter of the night, for health and food and love and friends, for everything that goodness sends. Gifts we've received, we're grateful.
We are a community that holds one another in our celebrations and our pain. Please share your joys and sorrows in the chat box in Zoom. Know that whatever is on your heart, we are with you. Uh, for the joys and sorrows shared and those held in your heart, know that we are with you. We especially want to recall today the joys of children finding their place, harvests and wildflowers still holding strong, the land we share together, uh, concerns over sick friends and children, and the joys of being together and just simply being. For all those held in our hearts, we are with you.
Now is the time in our service to join together in the spiritual practice of generosity. Our gifts support the church in its work. That work is summarized in our covenant. The covenant for UUCC says, in service of the values that unite us, we will recognize the inherent value of each person, foster a community of compassion and caring for all, value our diverse opinions, and engage respectfully in all interactions. If you would like to give to this morning's offering, you can give online at canandaiguauu.org/connect or physically by mailing a check to the church. In either case, note if you'd like your gift to go toward the Sunday offering or your pledge. We'll share 25% of it with our monthly. We will share 25% of our monthly Sunday offerings with our service partner. The designated offering recipient chosen by Team 6 for the harvest season is FoodLink, whose mission is to leverage the power of food to end hunger and to build healthier communities.
In the beginning, there was darkness, deep, holy darkness, and then this world, the world of 1,000 things, emerged from the heart of this holy darkness as a great ray of light. And then there was an accident, of course, and always. And the vessels containing the light of this world broke, they fell, they shattered, and the wholeness of the world was now in 1,000 pieces. And these pieces fell into all things, all events, all beings, humans and oaks and salamanders and stones, and there they remain. And no matter how deeply hidden they may be, there they are. And some people believe that the whole human race is a response to this accident, that we are born with the capacity to find this hidden light in everything and to lift it up, to make it visible again, restoring the innate wholeness of the world. And friends, this is a collective task. We have our individual lights that we bring and shine. And together we are called to do this work, all people who have ever been, and all of us here today now, and all people yet to come. We are all healers of the world. And it's not about making a huge difference and making the biggest impact. It's simply being touched by the world and touching the world around you. And thank you for touching me this morning and always. Facilitator transparency. We dive straight into the centering shared silence, or is something coming before?
Dive right in.
Thank you. Imagine service berries. Imagine a tree 10, maybe 15 feet tall, covered in these little fruits the size of a large blueberry that taste like blueberry applesauce. Service berries are also called June berries. And they are so beautiful, so abundant, and they have been here on Turtle Island on the North American continent for longer than human memory. And Robin Wall Kimmerer says this about the service berry. The service berries show us another model, one based upon reciprocity rather than accumulation, where wealth and security come from the quality of relationships rather than the illusion of self-sufficiency. Without gift relationships with bees and birds, service berries would disappear from the planet. Even if they hoarded their abundance, perching atop the wealth ladder, they would not save themselves from the fate of extinction if their partners did not share in their abundance. Hoarding won't save us either. All flourishing is mutual. With these words, I would love to invite us to just think for a moment. When have you experienced the most generosity? And when have you been the most generous? And now another set of questions to sit with. What are your favorite ways to say thank you? And what are your favorite ways to be thanked?
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life,
love to share those words again. The service berries show us another model, one based upon reciprocity rather than accumulation, where wealth and security come from the quality of our relationships rather than the illusion of self-sufficiency. Without gift relationships with bees and birds, service berries would disappear from the planet. Even if they hoarded abundance, perching atop the wealth ladder, they would not save themselves from the fate of extinction if their partners did not share in that same abundance. Hoarding won't save us either. All flourishing is mutual. And friends, it's late October and we've been harvesting seeds. We've been harvesting millions of seeds really for months, and certainly there are too many to count, and we're attempting to share them all. There are long, oblong seeds of cucumbers and winter squash and the perfect spheres of tiny cabbage and arugula. There are specks of snapdragons and orbs of beets, and I've been saving seeds since I can remember, since my first memories of being Unitarian Universalist, of being a part of UUCC. I will always be grateful that I grew up in my father's garden here in South Bristol, and that we saved seeds, and I didn't think much of it at the time. If you had asked 7-year-old Petra what I love to do, I would have told you writing poems and climbing mountains. And I definitely wouldn't have told you brushing my teeth or tying my shoes. These are just things I took for granted, and gardening and seed saving fell into those categories as well. And I don't think I would have thought that it was extraordinary, because if you want to sow seeds, you should probably save a few. And it just seemed so clear and not special. And I'll always be grateful for that profound gift that my father gave me. And growing up Unitarian Universalist, I always thought the first and the seventh principles were kind of the perfect bookends of everything else. Of course, that first principle, honoring, celebrating, loving the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And the seventh, respecting the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. And seeds embody these principles and everything in between. And with greater complexity, greater nuance, and with a fraught beauty that I consistently am learning and unlearning with. And I'd love to just share, for those who may not know, I grew up UU and a part of UUCC. And when people ask if I have children, I say yes, and great, great, great grandchildren. And we put them in packets. And if I think they have a sense of humor, I say, and we eat them. But really, the most important part, the part that we never leave out, is that these seeds, our children, grow us more than we grow them. And I'd love to share, for those of you who may not know, when I speak of these seeds and our children and how we share them, in 2012, my partner Matthew and I founded Fruition Seeds. We're down in Naples, and we grow organic, regionally adapted seeds. And I think of us as a 9th generation farm because we're endeavoring to center the seeds on this land rather than ourselves, the humans of this land. And we'll forever be finding ways to do this better. And we have 20 acres in Naples that were given to us, but that just makes our relationship with stolen land that much more complex. We farm on the unceded lands of the Haudenosaunee Seneca. And So yes, my relationship with seeds has changed profoundly across the years, and my own audacity of thinking that I can save seeds. Seeds don't need to be saved. They're saving us. As I unlearn these patterns of how white supremacy and how patriarchy and just domination culture has seeped into my bones deeper than any spiritual values that I might have been given. It's been so humbling to watch these patterns bring me into a relationship where I think I could possibly be in control and even sell the lives of 400 million year old beings, plants, and their seeds. I love when Robin Wall Kimmerer says, our toddlers speak of plants and animals as if they were speaking to people, extending to themselves an intention, agency, and compassion until we teach them not to. And it's been so humbling to unpack that although I wasn't taught by my father or anyone else that I knew and spoke with these words, I nonetheless learned this separation. My dear friend and mentor, Indigenous seed keeper Rowan White, says we are all Indigenous souls with imperial minds. And I love remembering that. So yes, a facet of that I'd love to share is that at Fruition, we grow seeds, and we save them. And we not only grow seeds of heirlooms, of seeds that have existed for centuries, and in some cases millennia, but we're creating new varieties all the time. The heirlooms of tomorrow, as Kay Green, the Hudson Valley Seed Company, loves to say. And these heirlooms remind me that yes, history happened, but it's happening. And I love that new poems are being written all the time, new sermons, new songs. If we cease to create these new varieties of vegetables, of flowers, of herbs, of plants, of ourselves, then we cease to exist. And so, yes, we have all these watermelons and carrots, new varieties of dahlias. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to share with you. We crossed a green cone-headed cabbage with a purple cone-headed cabbage, and now we have this cone-headed cabbage that's purple and green, all the most incredible colors. And we get to name these new varieties, which simultaneously Robin Wall Kimmerer encourages us to listen for the names, and we endeavor to, but also domination culture invokes the privilege of naming as an enactment of domination. I would love to read for you this poem that our dear friend Madeleine Therese Halpert wrote, and here it goes. It's called Playing Family. Oh, how many ways I have declared, okay, I'll be the mother. You are my children. I have told this to beloved plants in plain English. I have sung it in soft songs, whispered it into watering cans. I've proclaimed it by pulling out pollination kits and seed sieves. I've announced this motherhood with disproportionate conviction, like a kid stomp teetering through fields on oversized high heels, which dangle tentatively from flexed feet with every step. She is convinced the world would believe her. Meanwhile, wind rustling, the plants shake their leaves with loving laughter, as if to say, oh, how precious, how adorable is our little sister. I love imagining these 400 million year old beings watch me play and think that I might possibly be their mother. I'd love to just unpack for a moment this neoliberal colonized world and thus seed system that we live in. Because I would love to name for just a moment. I hear all the time people thanking me and thanking us for growing seeds, organic, regionally adapted seeds for short seasons. And while I don't deny that this is incredibly important and sacred work, there are also other truths. And the truth is, we swim in this water, we breathe in this air that is market oriented, that is policy supported, that is increasing privatization in our world, that is upholding whiteness and patriarchy at every turn. And in the seed system, what does this look like? We believe that seeds are ours, humans, to share, ours to monetize. We claim creation of the new varieties that we create, dominion, domination. We breed them. I have power over this. We have varieties framed as an individual act of, imagine Amerigo Vespucci claiming Turtle Island as his continent. Imagine us putting a flag on the moon and me saying that I bred a carrot. And to say that I did this, and to not acknowledge the team here at Fruition and the centuries, the millennia of brilliant indigenous seed keepers who are the foundation of everything that we eat. And this hierarchical, this very academic, what is a plant breeder? If you Google plant breeder, you'll find a lot of white men with a lot of credentials. And we are normalizing patents around this space as well. Institutional respect that maintains the power of hierarchy in contractual litigated frameworks at every level. So yes, this colonized imperial approach to the domination of seeds sanctioned by win-win neoliberalism allows us to feel okay. And that I'm doing good. I'm just saving seeds, organic seeds, and sharing them. And that colonization also buffers us because we have ours. We uphold this system as long as we have our slice of the pie. And the uncomfortable truth is that we, Fruition at the top of the list, maintains colonial, extractive control of our seeds and of our stories. And this will take generations of unlearning. And I'm so grateful to do this myself and as our collective, as part of this sacred offering of seeing the light deeply buried in everything. So yes, 150 years ago, seed companies didn't exist. 500 years ago, global seed as commodity didn't exist. 2,000 years ago, seeds just maintained themselves and in their bioregions, and 10,000 years ago, simply in their watersheds. 500 years ago, the transatlantic slave trade was full steam ahead. And I have to imagine at that time, a lot of people were uncomfortable with that fact and didn't know how to live in the world differently. And can you imagine a world where we don't have seed companies, where we don't buy seeds? Rowan White reminds me always, 150 years ago, seed companies didn't exist. And if we do our work well, 150 years from now, seed companies won't exist. And I would love to lean back into that first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And I wonder, I would like to petition the UUA, the inherent worth and dignity of every being, extending personhood, kinship, family to every being. I love when Robin Wall Kimmerer says, And yet the average American can name over 100 can recognize over 100 corporate logos, but less than 10 plants. So is it a surprise we have accepted a political system that grants personhood to corporations and no status at all to redwoods and wild rice? So yes, I love imagining these beings of animacy. And I would love to read now from Robin Wall Kimmerer's Braiding Sweetgrass. Her chapter on the grammar of animacy is so profoundly beautiful. She says, to be native to a place, we must learn to speak its language. And English doesn't give us many tools for incorporating respect for animacy. In English, you are either a human or a thing. Our grammar boxes put us in the choice of reducing non-human beings to it, or it must be gendered inappropriately as he or she. Where are the words? Where are our words for the simple existence of another living being? My friend Michael Nelson, an ethicist who thinks a great deal about moral inclusion, told me about a woman he knows, a field biologist whose work is among other than humans. Her companions are not just two-legged, so her language has shifted to accommodate her relationships. She kneels along the trail to inspect a path, the tracks of moose, saying someone has already been this way this morning. Someone is inside my hat, she says, shaking out a deer fly. Someone, not something. I remember the words of Bill Tallbull, a Cayenne elder, and as a young person, I spoke to him with a heavy heart, lamenting I had no native language with which to speak to the plants, to the places that I love. They love to hear the old language, Bill said. It's true, but, he said, with fingers on his lips, you don't have to speak it here. If you speak it here, he said, patting his chest, they will hear you. I love this invitation to listen and learn anew. And I would love to remind myself and us all this morning that the food system, that all of these systems crumbling around us, they aren't broken. They're doing exactly what they were designed to do, to extract and exploit, accumulate and hoard resources at the expense of everything else. Robin Wall Kimmerer says, it's not the land which is broken, our relationship to the land. And it's the work of artists, of storytellers, of parents, of us all, as to come into right relationship. And what a joy to come into relationship with you all this morning. And certainly our gardens exemplify this reciprocity where food arises from our being together. And we have the responsibility to pull some weeds and pick some rocks. And if I don't do things, I'm not fulfilling my end of the bargain. I have this handy opposable thumb that is brilliantly adapted for such things. And it is such a huge gift to remember that that is the smallest part of the magic, that these tiny seeds that we plant can grow. And one seed can become 10,000 seeds. And each of those 10,000 can come 10,000 more. And who are we not to have hope? But that hope comes with action and with taking those seeds and with sharing them and becoming alongside them, unlearning beside them. And I'd love to just share that even if you've never sown a single seed in your life, that everything we eat becomes the statistics and the funds that nourish the next generation of plant breeding. And so every dish we prepare, every dollar we spend reinforces industrial colonized scales or reimagines the world we might dare to dream. I'd love to read us again these words from Robin Wall Kimmerer. The service berries show us another model, one based upon reciprocity rather than accumulation, where wealth and security come from the quality of our relationships rather than the illusion of self-sufficiency. Without gift relationships with birds and bees, service berries would disappear from the planet. Even if they hoarded abundance, perching atop the wealth ladder, they would not save themselves from the fate of extinction if their partners did not share in that same abundance. Hoarding won't save us either, friends. All flourishing is mutual. I have two invitations for you. One, if you would love to sing a song, we're about to do that. Number two, if you would love to dig a little deeper into how gardens grow us and the service berry, that beautiful essay that Robin Wall Kimmerer wrote. We collaborated with her to create a whole guide to garden planning with fruition, and you can find it online for free on our website, fruitionseeds.com. Under Learn, you'll see our Fruition's Growing Library, where you'll find all of our growing guides and ebooks, all kinds of fun things. It's all free, and you'll find our Fruition's Growing Ourselves, Growing Our Gardens, Growing Ourselves project, and that Fruition's Guide to Garden Planning with Robin Wall Kimmerer is a beautiful invitation to dive a little deeper into these kinds of questions. And now I would love to invite you to sing a song. This is one of my favorite songs. I learned it about a year ago from our friend Elisa Chisoli. She's down in Ithaca. And thank you to Danielle for putting the lyrics into the chat. And this is a song that has some movements involved. And also it's so crucial. Perhaps, I'm sure you've all at this point in the pandemic learned that singing without being on mute on Zoom is such bad news. But this is such, I've recorded myself on my phone and I'll be playing it so you can hear the harmonies, and I'll teach you the melody, and we'll sing it through a few times to share the words, to get familiar with the motions. And it's so beautiful. I invite you to put yourself on gallery view so that you can see everybody doing these motions. It sends shivers down my spine every time. So yes, here we go. We are here, arms like branches. We are here, wind is song. We are here, roots connected. We are here, the tree is strong. Short and sweet, so simple. I'll sing it 2 more times through so we can practice just that melody. And then I'll put on a recording so you can hear the harmonies. We are here, arms like branches. We are here, wind is song. We are here, roots connected. We are here, the tree is strong. We are here, arms like branches. We are here, wind is song. We are here, roots connected. We are here, the tree is strong. Get ready, the harmony is so beautiful. And let's see, thumbs up if you can hear. Let me know if you can't hear. We are here. Yes, like branches, we are here. Wind is song, we are here. Roots connected, we are here. The tree is strong, we are here. Arms like branches, we are here. Wind is song, we are here. Roots connected, we are here. The tree is strong, we are here. Arms like branches, we are here. Wind is song, we are here. Roots connected, we are here. The tree is strong, we are here. We are here. Wind is song, we are here. Roots connected, we are here. The tree is strong. Thank you, friends. And Lisa wrote that song specifically to sing as community on Zoom, to be together in different ways when it's most challenging and most important. And I'd love to just finish my time sharing with you this morning with these final words from Robin. To name the world as a gift is to feel one's membership in the web of reciprocity. And I would just love to thank you, and thank you all, humans that I know and humans that I don't yet. Thank you for being part of my home and part of my family in little ways and large across the seasons of my life. Thank you for accompanying me. Thank you for accompanying each other. Thank you for sowing seeds in all the ways, literally and otherwise. And an invitation to join us after the service if you would like to share a conversation about any of these facets. We will be here in the main room just chatting for a while. And I look so forward to hearing your thoughts. And Bill, it's not Sunday morning without you. Let's sing hymn number 207, Earth Was Given as a Garden.
Earth was given as a garden, cradle for humanity, tree of life and tree of knowledge, placed for our discovery. Here was home for all the creatures born of land and sky and sea. Gifts of this garden we share with each other, all to live in harmony.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our heart until we are together again.
Thank you all for joining us this morning, and Petra for sharing your poetry, your music, and your wisdom with us, and also your flexibility when your facilitator skipped the script a little bit. We do invite you all to stay with us right here in the main room. If there's more you would like to hear or share about the message that Petra shared with us this morning, in a couple of minutes, I'll set up the breakout rooms and you can accept the invitation right away to go to a smaller group, or just let that invitation wait until you're ready to click the button.